So, hi Alok.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna
So
start.
yeah, we'll start now. So I can see there are 13, 14 participants now. So,
Okay, okay.
so let them come. Then they will be joining in
Sure,
between the deliberation. We'll be starting.
sure.
So uh, myself, hi everyone. Myself, CA Rahul Kumar. On behalf of VIP CA, I am chairman. I am co-chairman for today's seminar. So it gives me great pleasure to it gives me great pleasure to announce that today we are having sixth episode of our eighth episode in a row, and we have been doing last five episodes based on tech, based on AI, as how AI has helped in our profession. So as we know that AI is the future, I hope Alok will agree to this, that AI is the future in times to come.
yes.
So today we are having a seminar on the topic using Excel and AI tools for bank branch audit. So I think as the bank branch audit is knocking the door. So as when we go to bank audits, so normally we face manual issues and all those things. So today Alok will be delivering lights on how AI can help us better, and how, or rather how it can help us making our life easier in the branch in the branch audit. So I'll be as the time is pressing, so I'll be introducing the speaker for the day. We see Alok, none other than see Alok Sethi. So his key area of training is finance and taxation, generative AI, automation and data management, data visualization and reporting, cloud accounting, as well as his professional qualifications are he is a qualified chartered accountant as well as company secretary. He is certified investment planning, retirement planning, and tax planning specialist. So if you are in the profession, you will be requiring Alok Sethi, you will be requiring Alok support. In case you are retiring, then also you will be requiring Alok support. He has also done advanced diploma in taxation. He is a AI faculty with ICI for All India Training. That's great. He is master trainer with Skill India. He has got AICA level 1 cleared. He is Microsoft certified trainer, among other things. His technical competencies are generative AI, data analytics, programming, cloud accounting software, banking softwares. His achievements that he has been awarded as a Best Speaker Award for Toastmasters International. He is also a YouTuber with having 2,500 plus subscribers, and he had posted 300 plus videos. That's huge. That would be there should be a round of applause for it. He's also founder of Excel Bibles. He is an IT committee member with Ajmer branch of ICAI, among other things. He has he has delivered multiple corporate trainings, and he has covered lots of topics pertaining to profession, pertaining to AI. He has also he has also done data analysis workshop at IIT Kanpur. He has he has done financial modeling at Christ, which is deemed university at Lavasa, Pune. So there are a lot of feathers in his cap. So
Yeah.
so let so before I would not like to take much of the time, and I would request CA Alok Sethi to start his deliberation for the day. So welcome, Alok.
Thank you, Rahul, and I would like to thank VIP Association of Chartered Accountants of the Kolkata region to have me here and for coming up with this Tech Fridays, as you call it, for empowering the chartered accountants. And I'm glad to be a part of this. And yes, bank audit is around the corner, and everyone is gearing up for this. And we you have rightly placed it at 21st because 20th being the last day for GST returns.
Right.
Yes, today is a Friday, and yes, we will have some more audience now joining up. So, two things that we are going to do today is that obviously we are going to discuss about bank audit, but what is additional is that when we do bank audits, one tool that we always use or we have to use in any audit for that matter is Excel. Okay. And I always, whenever I'm addressing any session online, offline, I always mention that Excel has been my first love. Okay, so
It's
yeah,
everybody's first love.
everyone first love, yes. Being a chartered accountant, when we joined our articleship, so from day one, this is the first application that we get to meet to. Okay,
But
so
it has evolved drastically.
exactly, yes. So that is why it is still there and it has not been replaced by any other tool or even AI. Okay, AI cannot replace Excel, it can just aid to it. And today we are going to explore how we can use Excel to the maximum. Okay, and I would like to quote a quote by CA Vijay. He's from Delhi and he is also a trainer, a very popular trainer among the chartered among ICI and other associations. So he says that Excel is just like a jet, airplane जैसा है, और we chartered accountant sometimes use it as a cycle ना, तो we don't actually एक्सप्लोर द पॉसिबिलिटीज, है ना। और कई लोग तो साइकिल को भी कंधे पे उठा के और फिर हाथ में लेके चलते हैं।
Right.
So it is so vast that even after being in the training sphere for almost a decade now, you know, I have been a trainer since I cleared my CA. I was training GMCS, OC, ITT, all these batches with the students, with the members, and now corporates and universities. But what I have seen is that people has very basic level of knowledge of Excel. Okay, and this is a tool that we are using over the years. So before I start, and since we have a very close audience, okay, I would like everyone to rate yourself on a scale of 10 on Excel skills. What do you think? Where do you rate yourself? Just a breezer, icebreaker before we start. Okay, so you can give yourself any number, whatever comes to your mind, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 4, 5, whatever you think.
Lokesh has given 7.
Yeah. So Lokesh Agarwal, if I am not wrong, he is also a very enthusiastic in technology. If he is the same Lokesh that I know, so because the camera is off, I cannot. आप वही है ना
Yeah.
लोकेश जी? मैंने सही पहचान लिया मतलब। देखिए आपका कैमरा बंद था फिर भी आई कुड सी दैट। एंड वी हैव ठक्कर जी ऑल्सो। आई सॉ योर हैकेथॉन वीडियो सर एंड आई रियली अप्रिशिएट द वर्क यू हैव डन। आई रियली very much touched by what you had done. Okay.
Thank you.
And you have been humble enough to give 5 on a scale of 10. I think you should reconsider this number.
No, no, no. True and fair.
True
True
and
and
fair.
fair.
Exactly. Great. So I think the member are hesitating in putting the number. No worries, there is no record of the numbers or the chat. It is just for our information. You can put any number that comes to your mind. I'm not going to take any test or give any this thing. Okay. But yes, I also am in the learning phase, and I always say that the more we know Excel, the more we actually want to know. Okay, तो जितना आप ज्यादा सीखते हैं उतना ज्यादा आपको सीखने की चाह रहती है ना। This is how it should be actually. So now getting to the subject and starting the session for you have all joined. Okay, so how do we approach bank audit? How many would be doing have already been doing bank audits already doing from the past? Okay, so if you're already doing, you can put a yes in the chat box. Someone who is would be doing or looking for a allotment or a newbie. Okay, so you can put first time in the chat. If someone has never done bank audit before, you can type first time. And those who have been experienced CAs and done a lot of audits over the years, you can put MT multiple times. So FT or MT. Okay. See, my way of taking a session is that I like to keep the session interactive. Okay. And I want that the audience is connected. We are connected. Okay. So if there is any first timers, you can type FT. If you have done it multiple times over the year, you can type MT. Okay. And now I am going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how you should approach bank audit and what we should do. Okay. And since we have a 1 hour of time schedule, okay, if the time permits and if you like the session, we might extend it. It depends on how I'm able to engage you and how you are getting engaged with me in this session. Okay. So we might extend this, but all depends on how it is
Ah, hello.
going forward. Okay. So
Ah,
uh yeah, so I guess most of the people
ah,
here are experienced persons who have done multiple audits. Okay, now let me take you to the schedule. Okay,
chairman.
I want to make a disclaimer over
Ah,
here that I am going to use the resources of U Saran sir. He is from South
Bonito. Dia dah
Hyderabad,
kiri dia dah
and
kebal.
he has already done a lot of sessions on bank audit. So I just saw his video and I took his permission to take use his resources since he has put it in the public domain for everyone to share. So I will be sharing that in the group chat. Okay, in the Zoom chat, you can use the resources. You can download it and maybe we can work along on some of the files and we can understand how to go about. So I have shared a link of Dropbox in the chat. You can download the file. There is a folder over there and you can download it and work along. Okay. So first of all, whenever we do any audit, what is the first step that we do is we prepare a plan, audit plan or a schedule or something like that. Okay. And then what we do is we try to identify what are the areas we need to work and how we are going to work on this. Okay. So basically, this is what I am going to uh, do here. Okay, so I'm going to share with you what exactly we need to look into or how exactly the schedule should be there, and then we will take into the specific areas where Excel can be used in the bank audit. Okay. So just a minute and I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so So those who have downloaded the folder, you can put done in the chat box if you have already downloaded the folder which I've shared in the chat. Okay, so you can just put done in the chat box so that I'm not you're aligned with me and we can both take it together. Okay, and now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so Lokesh ji is ready and I'm also ready to share my screen now. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Okay, great. So, what we are going to do? So, first understand the objective, then strategy for bank audit, compiling of files, validation controls, ICI guidance note, and extraction of tables from annual closing circular of banks. Then conversion of loan balance or CCOD file into Excel, conversion of CCDP file into Excel, and other PDFs and all. Okay, and then using of Excel tools and some AI tools also to analyze this thing. Okay, now before I start my session, one last question I would like to ask all. That have you ever worked with a tool called as, I am just typing this name in the chat box and you have to reply with me with a yes or a no. Have you ever used this? I have put it in the chat. You can read the word in the chat and is it a new concept or you have already used? Okay. So if it is new to you, you can type new. If you already used, you can write used. Okay. So there are two thumbs up I can see. We have an expert over here, Lokesh. So his sessions are always interesting. Great. So Yeah, so there are people who says new. So thank you, Roshan. Basic not used. Okay, great. So we will look into that, and let me take you to the tools that you should know when we start the bank audit. Okay, I'm not going to go through the technical aspects of doing a bank audit, as everyone is experienced, they already know what to do in a bank audit. I will be focusing more on how to use Excel or AI tools inside Excel, so that we can find out some analysis, we can do some analysis, we can do some automation and all these things. So I'm going to focus it there. Okay. So we must know how to create a pivot table, how to use the consolidate feature, VLOOKUP, AFX lookup, index, random between, roundup, data financial functions, and count. So these are the basic functions that you should know in Microsoft Excel when you are doing the audit. When we are doing the Word, how to convert the PDF into Word or Word into PDF, and how to use the comparison feature of the Word document. So suppose you have created some reports and then it got revised. So what is the revise? You have got some circulars of the last year and this year circular, how you can compare both. Okay. And then Power Query for transformation and doing some things. Okay. Now, tell me, when we have got any PDF and we want to convert it into Excel, what do we do? So you have a PDF and you want to convert it into Excel. So sometimes you download the bank statement and they come into a text file or a PDF file. You want to convert them into Excel file. What do you do? हम क्या करते हैं? ठीक है, do we go to I love PDF and upload that PDF and it gets converted into Excel or a Word document? Or is there any other approach that we can follow here? I think some people can unmute and also participate, or you can participate via chat. How do you convert PDF to Excel? This is
We
what.
can import into Excel.
Exactly, yes. Thank you for this. So we can use the data tab, and through the data tab, you can import the PDF into Excel. Okay. So we can import the PDF into Excel, and whatever tables do we have in the PDF, we'll be able to get all this. Okay. So let's do that. Okay. So I'll start with this feature. So it might be new for many, or those who already know, it will be a recap. So what I've done is I've downloaded the guidance note of Bank of Audits 2025, which is published by our institute. Okay. And it is a long, very long PDF. Okay. 800 or 900 pages. Okay. Guidance note. But we want to extract some of the tables which are there, or some checklists. So these tables are there, right? So I want to extract the tables into Excel so that I can use them as a checklist or as a referencer or something like that, right? Now it contains both text and tables. So it becomes very difficult to find out where are the tables and then copy paste. So what we can do is we will, oh, sorry, I'll just share my screen again. So we will go to the data tab, and then in the data tab, we'll go to get data. And in the get data, we will have the option to select from PDF. Okay, file from PDF. So then we will be selecting the PDF that we want to extract. So it's there on my desktop. So I will select this PDF now. And as we select PDF, what it will do is it will open a navigator, and we will be able to see like what exactly we want to extract. Okay, it's a long PDF, so it will have many pages. It might take time also, but I'll just show you one or two use cases which you can do. Okay, and we can use this feature to get the data from the PDF into Excel. Okay, and then we will look into how to use the different features, and I had put some dummy data over here, so we are going to use some dummy data for our analysis. Okay, and to see how it works. Okay, so by the time it is opening or getting converted, I will just take you through the other data that we have. Okay, so we have some working file. There is a folder called as working file. Okay, and this is having multiple datas. okay, some circulars, some closing guidelines. Okay, I would have taken this guideline basically. Okay, so automation of IRAC and guidance note, okay, 2024 SCA and all these things. So in this, apart from this, we have text to Excel. There are some files which are Excel files, okay, and there is a utility for bank audit. Okay, so I'll just open this utility and I'll show you what it is till the time we are getting done with this connecting to the PDF. Or what I should do is I will select some other PDF which is a lesser page PDF. So just give me a So annual closing guidelines. Okay, this is a PDF I have selected now. And see this utility for bank audit, it actually has various sheets. Okay, the one is a uh, cover sheet. Okay, and then there is some updations. It is created by sir only, and it is 2024. We need to actually change it to 25. Okay. Now see, this utility is created in such a way that once you put some basic things, it will automatically change. For example, so here is engagement team details. Okay. I hope my entire screen is visible and you can see this Excel utility which I've opened. So you can put the team members' names and their designation, then from what date to what date they were,
Hello.
number of days you are present, right? Now, here we will put the date of commencement of the audit. Okay, so I'm putting today's date, assuming that we are starting today. So I just pressed the shortcut key and we got the date. Okay, so can anyone guess what key I pressed so that I got today's date in this cell? If anyone knows that, can you just put it in the chat? How did I get today's date in the cell? And when I do this, you will see that all the other dates have automatically come. Okay. So all the dates have automatically come once I put this date over here. Okay. And I use the shortcut key to get the date. Okay. And all these cells have these data validation applied. Okay. So there is an option of like present. So if it is present, the partner is present or the article is there going, so it will automatically have this number of days as one. Okay. If the partner is present for 2 days, it will automatically have 2 days and it'll take the dates also, right? So this is the kind of automation that we can do in Excel, and it is very easy. There are some formulas which are being applied, and this is how this is done. Okay. So I had asked a question and I'm still waiting for some response in the chat. So can we have some guesses in the chat box? How did I get the date? And for that matter, I'll tell you that we can get the time also. So it is 5:29 right now. So I pressed the shortcut key and got the time on a real time basis. Okay. So how could I do that? Okay, so Roshan has given the answer. Yes, and Pratisha has also given the answer. Thank you, both of you, and you both of you are right. So the shortcut key to get the date is control and semi-common call comma. Okay. So when we press that key, okay, control and this, we will get this. So I'm just mentioning this key, control plus comma and control and shift and comma. If you do semicolon, so you will get the time. Okay. So this is control plus shift plus semicolon. Okay. So now this is one automation that is done over here. Then we have MOC, memorandum of changes. So account number, category, then debit, credit. And in the category, so this is already there. Now, any one of you, do you know how to create these kind of things in Excel? where you don't have to type, but you can choose from a list of options, okay, and you can just restrict the user to fill any value from this only. How do we create this? Those who know, don't know can type don't know. So I will cover. If you are not typing, I'll assume that you know, and we might skip it. Okay, so I need your input, whether you want me to show this or you want me to skip this. Okay, if you want me to show this, how to create this kind of things, you can put show in the chat. Don't know. Okay, so Roshan says don't know. Show. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, let me tell you, let me give you an idea of how to do this. For example, so let's say we have this list over here. Okay, and I want to create a drop down. Okay, this is called as a drop down basically. So I will just name it here. Okay, so let me open this in Excel. It's in the WPS. So let me open in Excel. So I'm going to show you there. Okay, now, meanwhile, we got our PDF imported. So when we import a PDF into Excel, sorry for deviating from the topic, I'll come back to it. But since we have got this, so whatever tables are available, we will get to see the tables here. Okay, but there are so many tables. So what we can do is we can go to the suggested tables or the pages. Okay, if you click on page number 4, so whatever detail it might have, it will show you. So I
પેલા
think,
મહાજન વાળાને 80G જોઈ છે ઓલા બેન ને કહો
yeah,
ને મને
so
મળતા
it is showing this thing. Now let's say we want to extract
તમારે પાસે
some
નંબર હોય તો એને
data,
મોકલી દો ને
okay,
પેલા
like
ભાઈને
this, some
ધવલને
index
મોકલી
or
દો.
something. So what we can do is we
હા
can just select
આમાં
a
છે નહીં
page that we want to get. Okay, so I want to get this page. So
એ
I
ભાઈ
can
બેઠા
click
છે
on transform data.
એ ભાઈ બેઠા છે.
Now, when I go to transform data,
ભલે
it is
હાલો
going to
વાંધો
take
નહીં
me to
ઓકે
the Power Query editor. Okay. Now it can be new to you. So thoda sa I would want your attention over here. Okay. It is a very good thing that you are going to see today. Okay. Now, I'll just open this circular and show you what we are doing so as to be connected. So I opened this annual closing guidelines. Okay, so let me open this and show you what it is. Okay, so this is the guidelines, right? It is an old document. Just don't look, focus on the date. So what we can see that it has some tables, it has some text. Okay, we want to get the data from the table. Okay, so I want to get this particular table, let's say. Okay, and for example, we are looking for particular information to extract the particular information. Let's say this list of ledgers or this code financial account liability number, we want to get this table, right? Now this table is in page number 37. Okay, so we want to get the detail of the page number 37 into our Excel. Okay, so what we will do is, so I have selected page number 13 right now. Okay, but we wanted to take some other page, or if you see what is there in page number 13, since I've already selected that, so we will go to page number 13 and I'll show you what content is there in page number 13. So it is just a index over there. Okay. Now when I'm in Power Query, it is showing me this this page number 12, this page number 13. Okay. So advances and income recognition norms and all these things, page number, but you see list of submissions and all these things not coming properly, right? So here, let me take page number 39. So again, I'll go to data, get data from file and from PDF. Okay. And we will select this annual closing guidelines. And we want to extract a particular table in Excel so that we can use that as a reference. Okay. We don't want to look at the PDF again and again, or we don't want to carry a printout Generally people carry a printout, but we want to have a tabular format in Excel. Okay, so we are just seeing how we can convert the PDF into Excel from the Excel itself. Okay, and for this you have to use a latest version of Excel. I would request all the CAs to update their Excel. We are in 2025, but people are still using 2013, 16 or 19 version of Excel. I would request everyone to migrate to 365, or rather update to 365, so that you can use the latest features, and you all can get benefited from it. So I'll show you how you can extract a particular table, and then we will look at the different options. Okay, now let me first do what we were doing earlier. Okay, so let me take you to the file which is the working the audit report file. Okay, and I'll just show you how to create that list. So I'm opening this utility file. Okay, and I'll show you how to create that drop down. Okay. Okay, so here in this category, you see this list coming. Okay, now where it is coming from. So if you go to the data tab, okay, now this is a protected file. Okay, so here the tools are not activated. What I will do is I will take a list from some other sheet and I'll show it to you. Okay, so let's say we want to create a list from this text from here. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it over here. Okay, now I want to create a drop down. Okay, I want to create an option where I can select any of the things from here. So how to do that? So how to create a drop down menu? So to do that, we have to go to the data tab, and in the data tab, you will get an option of data validation. Okay, so that in the data validation, yeah, text over here. Okay, we want to create a drop down. So yeah, now, so I want to create a drop down so that I can select any of the item over here, and I'll be able to select what I want to do. So I will go to data tab, and in the data tab, there is the option of data validation. Data validation may we will select list, because we want to create a drop down from the list. So we will select this as a source of the list, and we will just click on OK, enter. Okay, now you will see that the drop down is created over here. So this is a drop down. Okay, so I can select anything from here. Now what is the utility of this? I will show you that when you want anything particular to be selected, we can select this particular from here. Okay, so this is how you create a drop down. I'll repeat. So we go to data tab, and in the data tab, we'll go to data validation. In the data validation, you have to go to list, and then you have to select the range where you want to create that drop down. Okay, and there is a shortcut key also, which is Alt plus A plus V plus V. Okay, great. Chali. So now, next thing. So we have created this, and there are different things over there. Okay, here also there is the option of yes or no, selecting yes or no. Okay, now if you do any selection over here, okay, you will see that the text has changed over here. Okay, so audit opinion. So if you say that financial statement are materially misstated, if it is yes, then you will say adverse opinion. If there is no, Then you will say, please select appropriate option in D and E, column D and E. Okay. So material but not pervasive, or material and pervasive. So we'll select no here, and it is saying unmodified opinion. So how this is happening? So this is because of the if function, okay, and you can create a if function, and if the selection is yes, then this should come, or if it is no, then this should come. So this is just like that, okay. And so this is a tool that you can, this is a utility which is already created. Now let's focus on looking at the analysis part. So I'll come to that analysis part, and for that I'm going to use the working file for analysis, which is file number B. Okay, so I'm going to show you some things that we should know in Excel as I talked about. So let me open this file. Okay. Now, in this file, there are a lot of data which is there. Okay. So this is a loan data. Basically, when we look at the audit, we get the data in text file, and then we convert into Excel. Okay. Now, how many of you know how to convert a text file into an Excel file, now, like a notepad file into a Excel file? Because when we download the data from the dump from the bank, or we ask for the data, we always get txt file. Now, how do we actually extract the data from the txt file to an Excel file? So I'll show you one txt file, and then I'll take your inputs. How do we do it? So this is a txt file, okay, and this is how it looks. Okay, so it has various accounts and different sort of accounts. Okay, different classification of accounts, and I want to open this in Excel so that I can create a list, or I can work with this data. Okay, now at this stage, can you make any sense of this data? इससे कुछ हमें समझ में आ रहा है, या can we work on this Excel, then this PDF, this text file? The answer is no, we cannot work. So how do I open this in Excel? Now, if I open this in Excel, will it open? So we'll open a blank Excel file, okay, and we will say open, and I'll select this txt file, this notepad file. So I'll select all files first, and then text to Excel. And this is the first file that I want to look at. I'll say open. So as we do so, you will get an option which is called as text import wizard. Since it is a text file, so it will not directly open, but we'll get this option text import wizard, which is popularly known as text to column. है ना, नाम आपने सुना होगा text to column. Is it a common thing that you have heard of, text to column? Yes or no? Yes, text to column, correct. But in the text to column, like what option do we select? There are two options. One is delimited, the other one is fixed width. Now, what is the difference between the two, and how do we do it? Okay. Now, I would say that this is a outdated or a old method of old school method of doing this. Okay. So if we can we select a delimited over here, or should we select?
Alok, sorry, Alok, to disturb. But there's a black patch on the right side of the screen because of the camera panel, I understand.
Okay, okay. Now do you see this, or is it gone?
No, it is still there. It is better now. Done.
It's
And
better
there's
now.
even, I believe, that hide toolbar of zoom. So there's a small patch on
Yeah,
the.
yeah. So I'll do that. I'll do that. Wait, I will do that. Okay, now I think it is fine.
So it is near. Now it is good. Great. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So see, we could open this in Excel. Okay, we could open this file in Excel, but it is not coming in a proper way. Okay, we can still make out that this is account number, this account type, customer name, and all. but it is not coming in a proper format. Now, how do we format this? So what method people use generally is text to column. Okay. So I can show text to column also, but there is a better approach to do this. Okay. And we can do this using the Power Query. Okay. So let's do this first through the text to column, then I'll show you how you can do using Power Query. Now, my question to everyone was, when we want to convert this into columns, the data is into text. Okay. So if you go to any cell, let's say this cell, you will see that all the data which is there, it is coming only in one cell. There is nothing in this cell. All the cells are empty, but only the column A has all the data, right? I want the data to be splitted into respective columns. So how do we do that? Okay. So for that, we will have to use what something called as text to column, correct? But the text to column, there are certain rows which are empties. There are certain like rows like this. So I want to get rid of all these and I want a clean list where I have the account number, the account name, and all these details, right? So how do we do that? First, so I'll remove this headers. We don't want this. So this becomes my first row. Okay. So how did I delete everything? So I selected the first row by control and spacebar and control minus. So I deleted this. Now this is the first row that I want to have. So now if you see that there is a delimiter, which is a pipe. So account number or account type के बीच में you will see this is called as a pipe, right? And we can see that at each pipe, it is an indicator of a column break. Am I right? Because all the headings are separated by this pipe. Am I right? Okay. So we can use this as a delimiter. Now let's do this. So I'll select this column A and then I will go to data and then I will go to text to column. And in the text to column, we will use delimited and then we'll go to next. Now you will see some options like tab, semicolon, comma, space, but there is no pipe option over here. So we'll go to other and we will type this. Now, where do you get this key? So just above the enter key, it is there. Okay, so you can press shift and this, and now we'll click next and finish. Now, as we do so, what do you see? Okay, you see that now the text is now divided into different columns. And you can see that we have account number over here. We have the account type over here. We have customer number, customer name, okay, rate, limit, drawing power, account balance, okay, unclear. But still, is the data organized? We could achieve this, okay, but is it correct? What is this column? 704. Okay, what is this column? This should be SMA appear condition and this should be SMA date. So it is not properly done. Yes or no? Why this negative sign is coming over here, why this number is coming over here, and there are some numbers which are appearing over here also, some balances. So what are these? Can anyone guess what has happened? Is it in order or there is something wrong? So see, if you look at the account number, if you look at the first column, account number is there. The second description, customer number, customer name, rate, limit, drawing power, limit, account balance, uncleared balance, irregularity, all these things are fine. Currency. So here, if you see this sanction or renewal date, this date should have come here, right? And uncleared balance is 0. So what is this 0 doing over here? Ye kya hai? So what has happened is, so this account balance and unclear balance, this should be something like this, okay? And this 0 has come over here, okay? So that is why all these columns got shifted, correct? So let me show you what has actually happened. So if you see this, there was a balance which came to this. The overall drawn limit, ye 1385 should have come here, right? Maybe below this number. So it went to this column. So when we splitted this column, this actually came first because there was a delimiter over here, right? So that is why we are not getting the proper sequence. This INR, this 00, which I was talking about, 0404, there is a mistake from here, right? So how do we rectify this? This can create a problem. Now what I can do is I can remove the first 5 because I want the data to split to start from here. The first column should be account number. Okay. But if I do so, again, you will see there is some error we are going to see. So again, I'm going to do the same thing, text to column, and again delimited. Next, and I've already selected this pipe and account number is visible over here. I'll go to next and finish. So if you see in the account number, we have got all these things, right? And in the account name, we have got something else. So this is also not working properly. So this, whatever we were using text to column, is not giving us proper result. Now what should we do? Correct? So can we use a fixed width? No, because the width of these columns are different. Okay, so how do we convert this into Excel then? So the best way is to use the Power Query. Okay, or even if you want to do through the text to column, then we have to do certain adjustment and then it'll be fine, good to go. But let's use Power Query and let me show you the power of Power Query actually. So we will go to Data tab and I'll start with a new Excel, a blank Excel, and we will go to Data, and in the data we will go to Get Data, and here we want to get the data from that CSV or the text file. So there is an option already here, and you can go to File also and you can select from text or CSV. So we will select this and I will select the same file, CCOD balance file. So I'll import this. Now we are doing through Power Query. Okay. Now, as I do so, you will get something like this. Okay, the data will not appear properly. It is a preview of the data. Okay, so what we will do is we will go to transform data. We will go to transform data and that will open the Power Query editor. Okay, now since everything is in one column, we see everything in single column only. We are not able to see exactly the entire data. If we stretch this, we will be able to see this, right? And you can close this editor setting, query editor setting over here. Okay. Now this looks like Excel, but it is much more powerful than Excel. Okay, I'll tell you how. So we have imported this file. Now what we will do is we'll go to home. And here also what we want to do is we want to split the column. We want to split the column. Okay. So now in the home, do you see an option of split columns? We have an option of split column. Okay. And then it is asking me by delimiter, by number of characters, by position, lower digit to non-digit. So again, I'll select delimiter. And here we don't want to separate it by space. We'll select a custom, and in the custom, I'll put this pipe and we'll click on OK. Okay, now you will see that the work has been done. Okay, the work is done, but still now we have some empty rows and some rows which we don't require because this is the name of the bank. We want the column from the row number 15. Actually, we want the details from row number 15. Correct? So let's see if we have got so again, the same error has come here. Okay, so we want the data from row number 15 first. So let's do that. Okay, and I'll show you what we need to do next. So we want to remove the first 15 rows. Now in Excel, what you would have done, you would have selected and we would have deleted, but there is no option to delete like this. In the home tab, we have option of remove rows. Okay, so we'll go to remove rows and we will remove the top rows. How many rows I want to delete? I want to delete the 14 rows. So I'll go to this and I'll say 14 rows and I'll select OK. Now, what do you see that my first row is the header of the table that I want to have. These are my headers. Okay. So I select these headers and this actually should appear as a header. It is not coming as a header right now. Okay. I want this to appear as a header. So in the home tab itself, we have something called as use first row as headers. So we will click on this. Now, as we do so, do you see that the first row has become header now? Correct? The first row has become header. We have account number, we have account type, we have customer number, customer name, right? So we don't want this basically. We don't want the first column because it is not of any use. Okay, you can see there is a blank dash and all these things. Okay, the branch name and all. We don't want this. So we can remove this column. To remove this column, we'll right click and we'll say remove. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me why we are getting this null here and the account number on the left hand side? Those who must have used Power Query, they will be able to answer this. क्या आप बता सकते हैं कि ये null क्यों आ रहा है? बहुत जगह पे null आ रहा है. What does this null means?
There is no value.
There is no value. Exactly. There is no number because this column is a numeric column. So, and here in Power Query, what is different or what is unique is that with the column headings, you get the column type also. So by default, it is taking everything as ABC. Okay. So what we will do is we will just go to Home tab. Okay. And here there is something, sorry, in the Transform tab. And in the Transform tab, you will have Detect Data Type. Okay. So when you click on this, you will notice that the first column has become 1, 2, 3. Have you seen that? Could you notice, everyone? Can we have a yes in the chat box if you are with me?
Yes.
You see that the first ABC has become 1, 2, 3. The first ABC has become 1, 2, 3. Now, if I select all the columns and again I do the same thing, I go to transform and I say detect data type. Do you see this customer number also has become 1, 2, 3 now?
Yes.
And the rate has become 1.2. The limit has become 1, 2, 3. Drawing power 1, 2, 3. The limit expiry is ABC still. Account balance is number. Okay. So what Power Query does is it actually understand what the data is and accordingly it will either convert this into a textual format or a numerical format. Okay. Now in the number, there are some null values. So null means that there is no data, there is no value. So basically I don't want the rows where there are null. So what I can do is I can go to my home tab and I can say remove rows. So we will remove the rows with errors. So there are some errors or there are some null values. So I'll remove the errors. Okay. Now, as I remove the errors, the rows which had some errors are gone, but still the null remains. Okay. So what we can do is we can say remove rows which are blank rows. Okay. And now we see the null has also gone. And do you see all the account number with their account description and the customer name, customer number coming together?
Or
Yes.
yes.
Yes. And here the limit expiry date, it is actually, it was a date. So let's convert this into a date type. And here we see some error over here and some of the dates are coming. But at some places we see some errors also. Okay. But there has to be some dates, right? It cannot be an error. So what do we do here? So it might look very complicated to you at this point of time, those who are looking at it for the first time. But it is very helpful. Okay, if you understand this, it might take some time, but if you understand this, it is very helpful, and I'm going to show you that how it is. So it is saying limit not set and all these things. So this drawing power and why it happened, because when we detected the column, it did this convert this into a number, okay, or text. So that is why we are getting this error, okay, in the date. So if you see this. This is ABC. Okay. Now, if I convert this into a date, it is giving me an error and we are getting some dates over there. Okay. So what I can do is if I want to remove any step, I can just click on this cross button and the steps will be noted. So there are some dates which are coming over here and it might not have the accounts might not have some dates over there. Okay, so that is why we are getting this error. We'll look into the data and we'll get to it. Okay, now if you convert this into a date, let us convert this into a date first. So whichever is date will remain and we'll get some errors. Now, if you say remove error, all the accounts will be deleted. We don't want that, correct? Secondly, this unrealized interest, this automatically is converted into date only. Okay, but there are some errors here also. Okay. And then we have a return of flag and some columns over here. SMA, this is also a date. So I'm just looking at the date column. Now, there is some column which doesn't have the number. Okay, so now what I will do is I will just import this data into Excel. So let me just close and load this data and see what you will see now. Okay, see what do we get now. So as we have loaded this data, okay, 183 rows are loaded and 142 rows are having some error. Okay. So now it is giving us a report but you can see that from the TXT file, which was not
Sir,
readable, we could come to this Excel. Okay.
sir,
And this is
sorry
account.
to interrupt, sir. Sir, how did you get that report,
Which report, sir?
sir, which you just flashed?
Okay. So it automatically came, sir. When we
Acha.
do this, yeah,
Okay.
it automatically comes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So see, we have the account number, we have the account type, we have the customer number, customer name, rate, okay, limit, drawing power, limit expiry date. So these were blanks actually. That is why we were getting an error. Okay. Now, maybe because the account type is not a limit. Okay. This can be a saving account or something. So they will not have any expiry date, right? Or a limit expiry date. That is why we were having an error over here. Okay. And here also see earlier, there is no date. There are some dates over here. So it has given 0. Now here account balance and then uncleared balance and then irregularity, new account, uh, new old, sanction renewal date. Okay. Now see, this would have been a date. Now this is something which went wrong over here. So let me just open that notepad file once again and show you what exactly we had. Okay. See, once you apply this setting in Power BI, Power Query for the first time, then you can do the same time multiple times without doing the same process to multiple files. So for the first time, it will it will take some time, but for the next time, it will be very simple process. Okay. So let me show you the file. Yeah. So this is the file which was there. Okay. So in the after the customer name, we have rate, limit, and then drawing power. Okay. And limit expiry date, and then account balance. And after account balance, I have uncleared balance and then irregularity. And yeah, the last column, which is 704 of this code, is actually the SMA arrear condition. Basically, these are the columns which are there. Okay. So if you look at the data, so at some places you will see that till the last column we have the data. Okay. So what we need to do is see. So this INR is supposed to be the currency, right? So we have the arrear condition, the currency. So INR should be currency. So basically what we need to do is we need to shift them one column before, okay? And I'm just trying to figure out where the column went wrong. Okay, so limit expiry date is the date. Account balance also looks fine. Uncleared balance. Yeah, so this SMA, though, so the one column we need to shift here. So what we will do is the uncleared balance. Okay, I'll put this, the zero should not have been there. So this is how the data should look like. Okay, so we have the sanction renewal date, arrear condition, currency, irregularity date. Okay, and this is how the proper column conditions are there, and we will delete this. Now, so this happened because the file was like that. Okay, but once we have done this, okay, so when this process is done, I can save this file. Okay, I can say the account list or details, whatever we want to call it as. We can save this Excel file. Okay, and suppose we get a similar file, a report, then we can use the same process. Okay, I'll just show you how you can do the same thing without actually repeating the steps. That was the idea, to use a Power Query and not text to column. Okay, so I'll just save this. Okay, so I've saved this. Now, so how did we do this? So when we go to data tab again, here from the data tab, if you want to go to the query again, so here you will see that we have got one new tab, which is the query tab. Okay, and from the query tab, we can go to edit. Now, when I go to edit, it will take me back to the Power Query. It will take me back to the Power Query. Okay, so we are at the Power Query, and this is what we had done. Okay, now there was some this thing process that we had done, but we don't want to repeat it on some other file. So what we can do is, there is something called as advanced editor. So when you open the advanced editor, you will get the code. You will get the entire code which is applied over here. Okay. So what we will do is, we'll copy this code. Okay. And we can save it in a Word document. Okay. So I have copied this code and I'll save it in a Word document. Okay, so this is the code. We don't need to understand what is there. Although if you read, you'll be able to understand what all we have done. It is coded over here. Okay, so we will save this code and we will call it as text to column code. Okay, now see why I'm showing you this. You will come to know soon. Okay, now let's say we have done this process. Now we are doing some other list. We got some other detail which is in the similar format, and we want to do the same with the same file. Okay, so I will show you how once you have done the process, you can repeat the same process again. Okay. So what we will do is we will now go to data. Okay. And this time we will not import a file, but what we will do is we will write a query. Okay. We will just copy paste the code. So we will go to from other sources, and from the other sources, you will get something called as blank query. Okay. We will get something as blank query. Okay. Now in the blank query, we will right click on this and we will go to editor. And there is nothing in this editor, right? So what we will do is we'll copy the code which we had pasted over here, right? And so once you apply this, you will not see anything because so you will see that we have got the result. Okay. And when you close this and apply, the same thing will appear in Excel also. Now, why it worked? Because this code had taken the path also, okay, the file also. And what the one column change we had done, we can do that and our data is ready to go. So this is how you can automate your process of converting the text file into an Excel file. Okay, and whatever files you have, you can put in that folder and it will generate the Excel with you. Okay, so any queries over here? Was it something new that you've understood or learned today by attending this?
Sir, can you just repeat that code part? Copy paste.
Okay, okay, sir. So what I did, sir, I went to the data tab. And in the data tab, what we had done previously is we have imported the TXT or CSV file. We don't have to do that. We will go to the other sources. And this time I will say a blank query. Okay, because what we want the Power Query to do is to actually execute the code which we have created by following the steps. So
Okay.
to put that code, I will open the blank query. So it is a blank query. Now, how do I write the code here? I'll right click on this and go to Advanced Editor. And in this Advanced Editor, whatever is written, we will delete that and we'll paste our code. And once we paste our code, we have to just type in done and our task will be done. You will see the same process getting applied over here, and then we can go to home, close and load this data.
We don't have to select the file, no? We
No,
just
sir,
have
we
to
don't have
copy.
to select the file. What?
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just show you one more thing, and then we move to the next the next part of the session. Okay. So see, when you actually go to this Power Query, okay, there is one important step I want everyone to note over here, that the source. Okay, so if you click on the source, it will tell you where the source is. Okay, so since we had taken the source earlier from this folder, okay, the e-bank audit session text to Excel and this file. So in this folder, whatever files you put, okay, so we had put the first file. Now, if you put some other file, it will do the same process in that file also. Okay, so the path will be defined in the code. So we just need to make sure that the file that we want to convert is there in that path. Or if it is in some other folder, you can change the path over here. You will get the results.
Including file name.
Into the source. Yeah.
Including the file
In the file
name.
content. Yes. This inverted comma part. This you need to update if you have changed the location of the file.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now this was one aspect of it. Okay. The basic thing that we have to do every time when we go for an audit. Now, something which is very common, but how we can make it different, okay, how we can use it differently. Now I'm going to speak about pivot tables. Okay, now we are at 6:15. We can see that there are 25 participants. There were 27, 28, but still 25 participants are there. So can I have the permission to extend this session for the next 15, 20 minutes if you are all liking it, or if you are all
Yes.
fine with
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, See, when we have a data, okay, so this is the loan data. I'll show you what the data is. This is a data of any bank, okay. Now, there are 1818 rows. The first row to this, if you see the count, 1814 rows are there. The first row is a header. Okay. Now, whenever we do any audit or whenever we are looking at any data, might have many columns, right? And we all know that the best way to work with the data is to create a pivot table to summarize this data. Okay. Now what we want to do is there are different account types over here. Okay. And we want to find out the NPAs, or we want to see how irregular is the deposit and all these things. So what we will do is we will see how we can consolidate this data. But before we do that, we have to make sure that all the data, the rows are same, the numbers are same. So how do you count how many days the columns, rows are there? So one way is to select the entire data, and at the bottom we get this number 1813. So we get to see the size of the data, the number of accounts basically. But there is one more way. You can use this formula called as rows. Okay, so I will apply this again. So is equal to rows, and you can select the array, the range, and it will give you the number of rows. Okay, so we are getting 1813 over here. Okay, so it will give me the rows over here. So everywhere we are getting 1813. Okay, that means the data is consistent. We do not have any blank data or anything. So there is a consistency in the data. 1813 is the total number of rows. Now here I'm using a different function which is count A. Okay. Now what is the difference between count and count A? Count only the numbers, but count A count everything. Okay, the text as well as the number. So I'm using one function as count A over here, and you will see the number is coming to same in all the columns until this column. Okay. So here, if you look at column Y in my data, so the previous function was giving us 1813 rows, but the next is giving us only 1608. So that means there is some gap. So in 1800, out of 1813 rows, there is the data only in 1608 rows. That means the difference is blank rows. So I applied the formula of count blank, and we can see that in the stress, there are some rows which are blank, and you can just see from here also that there are some blank rows. Okay, 205 rows are actually blank. Now, why they are blank? Okay, so maybe because the account type is something of that category where we cannot put a stress test to that account. Okay, so that is why it is left as blank. Okay, and if you check where there was a N as an option, you will see that yeah. So there is a difference over here. There are some rows which are blank and some rows which are having N. So we could find out this by using this count function in our data set. Okay. Similarly, here also you will see the SMA code also has the same difference. Okay. And here also SMA date also has 913. So that means we can say that 913 accounts are those accounts which are having the SMA class or class of accounts, and there are 900 blank rows. Okay, out of 1813, 913 is having data and 900 is a blank row. Okay, so this is called as validation. You are just validating the data. Okay, now what we will do is we want to consolidate this data and we want to analyze this data. So what we will do is we will create a pivot table. Okay, now everyone knows how to create a pivot table, but do you know the shortcut key to create a pivot table? So I am a very big fan of the shortcut keys in Excel. Okay, and whenever I am delivering any session which has Excel or part of it, I always focus and always look for to discuss or tell some of the shortcut keys. Now, one basic thing that we all face, these are very small things. Okay, I'm not teaching very thing which is very big things, but very basic things, but which you should know. Now, a small question to everyone. So I'm at row number 1818. I'm at the end of this data table. I'm at the bottom. Okay, I've selected the entire data and I'm here in this cell. I want to go back to my row number 1. How do I go without getting the data unselected? So I'm repeating the question. So I was here. Okay, I did control A. When I did control A, okay, I don't want to select the 3 columns. I want to select till AH. Okay. So what I'm doing is control shift down arrow, control shift right arrow, and I'm here. Okay, I'm here. It's this AH 1818. I want to go back where I started from. So I want to go back to A6 or 7 row. How do I do that? कैसे करेंगे? How do I reach back to the row where I started? So I'm pausing here so that I can get some answer. And you all can try. Oh, Nitin has given the right answer. Very good, Nitin, for this. So the right answer is control and backspace. So I think I want everyone to be honest. And if this was a new thing that you learned today, can you type new? See, when we type in the chat box and when we are participating, okay, actually we are telling our brain that this is something new that you learned today, okay, and it will remember this, okay. So control and backspace is the key which will take you to the first row. Now, what is the use of it? The use is that suppose I am doing count function and I want to apply count over here. Now, when I do this, okay, now again I want to do something and I want to do a countif, let's say, or something like that. So मुझे वापस आने के लिए ना, generally we use this scroll button to come up, like to the scroll key, right? But if you know that what you can do is you can just press control backspace. It will take you to that cell where you are putting the formula. Okay, so it is very useful. And this is how the shortcut keys come very handy. Okay, chaliye. So we will create a pivot table. And how do we create a pivot table? The shortcut key is Alt N V T. Alt N V T. And you go to insert and pivot table, but I use a shortcut key Alt N V T. And now we want to create in a new sheet. So we'll select OK. Now, so I think pivot table is not a new concept for everyone, but honestly tell me, what do you see on my screen and the way you have your pivot table? Is it same or different? मेरे pivot में और आपके pivot में कुछ फर्क नजर आ रहा है आपको? Is there any difference in my pivot table or your pivot table, or is it the same?
Different. Yeah.
Different. Okay.
Viewing.
Yeah. So anyone else whose pivot is different from mine? And I'll tell you what your pivot looks like. So your pivot is something like this. Is it?
Yeah.
Now, how does it make a difference? कि pivot कैसा है? I'll tell you. See, when your pivot is like this, when you have to choose from the list, you have to scroll down. ठीक है? आपको ये scroll bar का use करना पड़ेगा यहाँ पर. And you have to put this like this. But what I prefer is you can go to this gear button over here and you can tweak your format layout and choose the second option, field section and area section side by side. And tell me, this is the better format or what you are using was a better format. यहाँ पे भी हमें scroll use करना है, but now my selection becomes easier. I have to just pick up and throw over here. Better. Yes, so it is something better. And secondly, we don't want this to be hanging in the air. So what I do is I just put it on the left hand side corner. We give it a space, a respectful space, that you sit here and do your work, and we will see the output on the right hand side. So we give a dedicated space to our pivot table so that everything looks neat and clean. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the outstanding into the rows. Outstanding is outstanding balance. And the same outstanding I'll put in the values 4 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you must be saying what I'm doing. This is not how a pivot is created, because in the rows we take something else, maybe account type or account number, and on the columns we take something different, but I'm taking the same thing. Okay, now see what I'm going to do now. Okay, and don't do it with me. Just first see and then you can try. So I have the outstanding balance over here. If you see the range is from 0, or we have a dash also, and it goes till 2 crore 92 lakhs 78,597. Now, how many of you know how to group this into different groups? So we have this pivot is itself 1647. So what kind of pivot is it? If it is like 1600 rows pivot, okay, doesn't make any sense, right? So how can we shorten this table? Can we group this row labels? Can we create a group out of this outstanding? So I want to group them into a category of 10 lakhs, or let's say 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, and more than 50 lakhs, something like that. So what we will do is we'll right click on this column, and there is the option of group. Okay. And in the group, it is automatically giving me the starting point is 0. The ending point is 2 crore 92 lakhs, and it is giving me an option to group by 10 lakhs. Let's click on OK. Now, as I click on OK, do you see this table getting shorter and cleaner? And now we have got a range of outstanding amount. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So do you want me to repeat what I did? If you want me to repeat,
Yes.
you can type a R or something in the chat box. Or if it is fine, what I did is I right click on this and I just use the function called as group, and we just mention, suppose you want to group it in the 20 lakhs ka range, we can do 20 lakhs also. So now my outstanding amount will be 0 to 20 lakhs, 20 to 40. So you are able to now understand what is the range the amount is outstanding on. Okay. So here in the first row, we have the sum of outstanding. Okay. So we can just remove the sum of, and we can say outstanding amount. Okay. And we have a breakup over here. So 82 crore 2 lakh is something, the amount is outstanding, 82 crores, 89 crores, sorry. And now here, I don't want the same number to repeat over here. What I want is, I want the outstanding amount as a percentage of the total amount. Okay. So how do I convert this into a percentage? I will right click on this, and there is the option of summarize values as, show values as, and we will do percentage of column total. Okay. And now do you see that which category of loan limit we have got highest outstanding from? So the highest outstanding 57% is coming from 0 to 20 lakhs limit. Am I right? It is coming from that limit. Okay, 0 to 25. Now, similarly, I want to see how many accounts are having outstanding balance. I don't want the sum, I want the count instead. What we can do, we can right click here and we can say summarize values as count, not sum. So we will use the count. So I can see the count of accounts. Okay. So the number of outstanding accounts. Okay. The number of accounts where the balance is outstanding. Okay. And again, we want to see the percentage of this. So again, what I will do is, first I will say, okay, give me a count of the numbers. Instead of sum, we want to have the count, and the count also we want to have as a percentage. So we'll say percentage of column total. So does it make sense to you now?
Yes.
So this will give us a summary of the data, the loan outstanding data, as what we can do with this. Okay. And then you can decide like how many accounts you want to vouch for or you want to look for from this particular range. Right? Now, suppose we want to create another pivot table. So what we generally do is we copy this and we paste it. Okay. Now let's say I want to have the range from 50 lakhs starting from in a gap of 20 or 25 lakhs, not 20 lakhs. So again, if I right click on this And now if I want to do grouping, it is not giving me that option because it's already a group. Okay, so there is an option of group here. Okay, but if you do this and let's say if we select by, let's say 50 lakhs I want to group at. Okay, so you see that both the tables are getting changed. Both the pivots are getting changed. Okay, I change only this pivot, but this pivot is also getting changed. Why? Because we copy pasted the data. We copied the pivot. So don't do that. You can create another pivot. Okay, because these are linked. Okay, both the data get linked, and whatever you are going to change over here. But instead of this outstanding, if let's say I select the account type in the rows, this will not get changed. Okay, the previous pivot will not get changed, but now I can get a list of different accounts which are there. Okay, and what is the outstanding balance and what is the count of the account. Okay, and then can we sort the pivot table basis the number of accounts? How can we sort the pivot table? So we can go to sort and we can see largest to smallest. And we have got like how many accounts are there in the bot scheme, right? And if you want, you can sort by the balance also. So I have sorted by the number of accounts. We can sort by the balance as well. So we can sort by this column like this. Now, if you want to see the particular, like you want to vouch this clerical staff, so you want the details of these 14 accounts. How can you get the details of these 14 accounts? Can anyone tell me? I want the details of these 14 accounts, the listing for all those 14 accounts. How do I get? I can just double click on this number and it will create a new list, a new sheet. And on that sheet, I will get all the customer name and their account number and the details of that particular list. Right? Now, one more thing. Now, suppose this report which we have generated, okay, we want to have the SME class wise bifurcation. Okay. So what we can do is we can put the SME class into filters. Okay. And it is showing me all. Now, if you see the SME, it has NPA, SME 0, SME 1, SME 2, and standard. Okay. Now, if I click on NPA, you will see that this 0 to 20 lakhs, 154 accounts are NPAs. Okay. If you look at SMA 0, there are 142 accounts. SMA 1, there is 35 accounts and all like so on and so forth. Okay. Now, all this you want in a different sheets. This report you want in different sheets. How can we get this table in different sheets? Anyone? So I repeat my question. What I want is these SMA class, I can see there are 5 categories, NPA, SMA 1, 2, 0, SGD. I want the table in different sheets. How do I do that? आप लोग कैसे करते हैं pivot में? Would anyone like to share? How do we do it? Nitin, are you there? Would you like to answer? Or anyone else? Like I want to have different tables for different categories like NPA and all these things. Okay. So one way is to apply this filter. We have applied this filter. Now we'll get one table. So shall I copy this and paste this in a new sheet and then change the filter and copy paste? This is how you do. Yes or no? ऐसे ही करते हैं हम लोग.
Yes.
But can there be a better way or better approach? Because there are only 4-5 options. If there are multiple options, then so in place of SME class, let's say if I take the account type, Okay. And if you see the account type, there is a long list, like so many accounts type. So if I want to categorize them, put them into different sheets, it will be very time consuming, right? So what is the way out? So let us look at the way out of doing this. Okay. And what I will do now, again, I'm putting that SMA class into the filter, and you don't have to do anything. There is a function inside this pivot table. Okay. And I'll show you in the design tab. When you go to pivot, you have to select the pivot table, go to design. Sorry, go to pivot table, analyze. And in the options, you will see show report filter pages. Show report filter pages. We click on this and we click on OK and see what do we get. We have created the 5 sheets within seconds. Have I got the sheets which I wanted? Yes or no?
Yes.
Is it fast? Is it efficient way of doing things? Right? So
Mhm.
this is how, so we always assume that we know things, pivot table to mein pata hai, but there can be features which we might not know. And I also got to explore this feature when I was exploring other things. Okay. Now, one more thing related to pivot table. Now, see, we have created this table. Okay. Now, if I want to create a chart out of it, okay, if I want to create a chart out of it, again, we can create it by using a shortcut key. So we have got a chart. Okay. Now, a better chart could be a pie chart. Okay. So as to give us this detail. Okay. So what we can do is we'll select this and we will create a pie chart as to see what is the different categories. Okay. So we will go to insert and recommended charts, and I want to select a pie chart. Okay, so I have got a chart over here, which is telling me like based on the range of outstanding amount, this is what the bifurcation is. Okay, and we can add the numbers also here. So it is showing me the percentage now. The labels, we can put on the labels. So we can use this feature. Okay. Yeah. I think this is better. Okay, we can use this. And instead of this category of this, because it is giving too much value, we can remove this. So we can go to data labels, more options. And I don't want to have the category name. I just want to have the percentage. Okay. And maybe that's it. The percentage I want to have. So I can do that. And if you want to increase the font size, you can increase the font size. Okay, but now see, this is the SME type you are getting for all the overall you are getting. Now you want to see that how uh, it is the chart will change when we change the SME category, the categorization. So in the pivot table analyze, we have an option of called as slicer. I don't know how many have used this, but what we will do is we will use the SMA class into slicer. Okay, and now you are going to witness something great. So we have some options over here, the 5 categories which I just showed you. Now, when you click on NPA, you will see that the table has also changed and this chart has also changed. The pie has also changed. When you select SMA, it is showing 84% and 16%. 2 categories are there, SMA 1, SMA 2, and STD. So this is how this categorization is done. Okay, so we can use different categories, and this is a slicer which can make your chart look dynamic. Okay, so we can do this, and then you can create different pivot tables. This working files is already shared with you all. So you can analyze the data on different bases, like year you can put on the row labels and then quarters. And then you can see the quarter-wise analysis of NPA, how many NPAs were there for each quarter and how the number rose to 125, which year had got highest NPAs, what is the amount of NPA, okay? And then you can have the count of accounts and all these things. And then this is the transactional testing. So this is the table which you already created by dividing the loan category into different labels, different amount. And then we can decide like what is the priority we want to give and who will do it and what is the sample size you want to take. So to do the sample, we can say that priority 1 should be 100% testing and priority 2 should be 30% testing. And we can do the sampling over here and we can find out the balance, like how we have to do this. So there are different this thing analysis and different activity, and this is how you can create this use the uh, pivot tables for doing multiple analysis and doing this thing planning the audit and the work. Okay, so I'm sharing the working file link again in the chat. There was a request. Okay. So I guess what I have shown you makes sense. It was a 1 hour session. We are almost close to 2 hours. Okay. So there was some AI which was mentioned, and people will be wondering where is the AI part in this. So I'll show you that in my Excel, you will see Chat GPT for Excel. Now I ask this question: do you have Chat GPT in your Excel? Can we have the answer yes or no? क्या आपके Excel में Chat GPT है? Is your answer yes or no? And those who are answering, I'll give you the way to get the Chat GPT inside Excel, and you don't have to invest any money. So I'm putting this link to the files again in the group, but I'm looking for the answers from you all. So do you have the GPT inside the Excel? And how can we use it? So I'll take 10 more minutes to talk about this and then we will conclude this. Okay. So I got a no from Thakkar sir and I got a yes from Pushpilata Patil. What about others? Okay, so there are many members who are having Excel, very good, having AI inside their Excel. Okay, so see, I'll tell you, it's very simple. You have to go to Home tab, okay, and then you have to click on add-ins. Okay, so these are add-ins which we can install in Excel, and we can work along with that. So we click on this add-in, and you will see this Chat GPT for Excel and autopilot or copilot or something like that, formula bot. So there are multiple these things. There is one called as data analysis also tool. Okay, data world analytical solver data science. Okay, so you can apply many this thing visualizers and all these things in your Excel, and I'll just show you one example of how it works. Okay, so this is a data visualizer you can create. So I'm just installed this. So you have to just click on it and it will install. Okay, now I have exhausted my, so it gives you some free trials. Okay, now for my ChatGPT.Excel, I've already exhausted the limit. I'll just see if it is working or not. So when you type AI.ask, so you will get some new functions with the name AI. Okay, now I can ask this thing. Suppose I want to plan for some meetings in the coming month, okay, in the month of April, and I want to avoid the Saturdays and Sundays. So I want to find out like how many, when are the Saturdays and Sundays coming? When I want to have list. So I can say ask.ai and say list of Sundays in April 2025. Okay, as we write in ChatGPT, we are writing the same prompt in Excel. Okay, and can you see the result? Within fraction of second, it has given us in April, the Sundays fall on the following dates: 6th April, 13th April, 20th April, and 27th April. Now you don't want this, you want in a tabular format. So you can use AI.table and you can say list of dates which are Saturday and Sunday in April 2025. And have we got a table? The date and the day? So this is how you can use AI inside Excel. You can ask it for a formula, any formula that you want to create or anything, any condition you want to create. Okay, so if you want to see that the outstanding is more than 90 days, then you categorize as this and this and this. So if you want to write if functions, okay, and you don't know how to write a nested if, you can use the AI to help you with that. Okay, so this is how you can use the AI inside your Excel. Okay, and we can work with that. So like that, you can use it. Okay, so here we have this SMA data and this conditions. Okay, so there is a SMA date and there is a expiry date, and you want to see the difference. Okay, so how do you calculate the difference between two dates? We have a sanction date and we have got a SMA date. Okay, I want to find out the difference. So to get the difference, you can use the dated if function. So one function I'm telling, and suppose you don't know which function to use. So you can say AI.ask and you say calculate the difference between the dates in month. Okay, so you can write, yeah, so we want to have the formula for this, calculate the difference between the dates in months. Okay, so when you mention this, it is going to give you what function you can use to get this and see. So here is the text difference in months, and it is giving you this. So we can say, instead of this, you just give me the formula. So you'll say, give the formula. So that is prompt engineering basically. So give the formula to calculate the difference between dates and months, and we'll get the formula. And if you are using Copilot, that will do that in this. And see, here you will get the date difference in months. So it is text function, it is telling you, but there is a better function which is dated if. Okay, so if you use dated if, it will give you the difference. So dated if, and first you have to take this date and then the previous date. Okay, and then we can get the difference in month. L7 and LG's 87. Okay, so we got 40 months difference. So if you want to calculate the difference in years, you can put a Y. If you want to calculate the difference in days, you can put a D. So this is a function, and this is how you can use AI inside Excel and get the work done. Okay, so I'll stop here for the day, and if you have any further queries or question, you can put it here. I hope I could do justice with the time that was given to me, Rahulji.
Yes, Alokji. It was you've excellently deliberated, and it was well within the time also.
Thank you.
Normally this is the first time any speaker has continued for 2 hours, because normally we have a slab of 1 hour. So as we were discussing yesterday, so since your
Yes.
topic was so engaging, so I could see the participants were also glued to it, and they continued till 2 hours.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So I hope the participants have earned insightful experience out of today's deliberation. So if you can have a just quick why in our chat box, if the deliberation of today was insightful and if it could be practically applied to audit. I have started getting why. I've started getting yes. Thank you, Thakkar sir.
Thank
you,
you.
Dipti. So
And
I will
actually, there is no end to it. I mean,
definitely.
if you see, I would recommend everyone to watch the CAU Saran sir video on YouTube. It is a 7 hour session, sir. He has done a 7 hour video on this, and you can see on YouTube. Okay, even I have put some videos on Power Query and Excel on YouTube, and
Which
my
video?
name is Alok Sethi, and I'll just put it in the chat. Okay, and you can look for the other videos also, and there is a lot to learn from this. Okay, so I have put both the names over there, and you can just note it, and you can. This video will also be available as mentioned by sir in the chat. So those who have missed or those who want to revisit, because Power Query and whatever features I had discussed today, it takes time to digest all this. So yes.
But definitely, but as you mentioned rightly, Alok, that there is no end to it. But at least I can ensure today that it must have, it must have developed a spark within everyone to get to know about it.
Exactly.
Obviously, 1 hour or 2 hour seminar cannot do justice to the entire things, but at least it can create a curiosity, and at least it can create an awareness that these are the things, these are the areas which can be explored to do the audit better. As today, every assignment is almost tech driven. So that is the whole idea, and you have very well explained. So thank you so much, Alok, for taking out time from your busy schedule and to agree to take the seminar today. And I'm really thankful to all the participants also who have clued and who have taken deep benefits out of it. And I'm very sure as the audit is around the corner, so they will be applying it practically in their offices as well in their branches to get maximum use out of it. So I'm again reiterating that the video for today will be available very shortly on our YouTube channel, that is Vipka. So those who are subscribed to it will definitely get a notification, and those who have not subscribed to it, so they can kindly go and subscribe. That will be available shortly. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alok, for your nice deliberation. We look forward to have you more in our other sessions in coming times.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Alok.
Thank you.
Thank you, participant. Thank you.
Thank you.